Dalton Thursday evening as Chicago's former mayor, who was hired to investigate Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration, revealed the shocking spending of taxpayer dollars.
Drama in Dalton. Credit card transactions amounting to thousands of dollars without explanation and millions more owed to vendors.
A bombshell report highlights just how much financial trouble the village of Dalton is really.
They say the village is facing financial disaster and they blame the mayor for mismanagement. She says this is all just political retribution.
No response to repeated interview requests. I tried to track down Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard in person today. Village employees told me she was.
Residents of Dalton and Thornton Township were aware of financial challenges, but never imagined the severity until Lori Lightfoot's revelations brought them to light. Now, with the village millions of dollars in debt, Tiffany Henyard seems poised to leave the banks in Dalton and Thornton Township drained by the time her term ends. To understand how things reached this point, we need to look back a few weeks.
Federal agents are in fact interviewing witnesses as part of a possible investigation that may or may not result in charges.
For years, residents have called for Tiffany Henyard's resignation, but she has remained unfazed despite her tenure being plagued by accusations of corruption and favoritism. However, the announcement of an FBI investigation into her actions has marked a significant turning point in this unfolding controversy.
Or retaliation. Both of the Dalton bars that were raided and shut down last night, we visited the day before as part of our ongoing investigation into allegations of political corruption in Dalton.
They just rushed in here, put police at the front of the door like they was doing a raid on the drug houses.
A team of Dalton police officers raided and shut down Pablo's Bar and Cafe and Rinky's Bar and Cafe, both located uncivilly about a block apart.
Everything going peacefully. Nothing going on. It's like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here. And he said, if you don't leave, we're going to lock you up.
Employees and owners say it's part of an ongoing campaign of harassment by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard that is costing jobs and money. Their business licenses have been stripped by Dalton, but they've continued to operate.
Multiple sources confirm that federal agents are actively interviewing witnesses as part of a potential investigation, which could or could not lead to charges.
Chaos. Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard at the helm of the village's first packed meeting since Dalton trustees passed a resolution last month requiring her to turn over the village's financial records and asking the FBI to investigate her alleged misuse of village funds. The mayor admits to a $2 million deficit, but trustees say
This escalation occurred after Tiffany Henyard became the target of numerous complaints, including allegations from business owners claiming their establishments were shut down solely for refusing to support her political activities.
Veto their resolution.
The veto message is related to the secret scrutiny meetings, yes, that the Board of Trustees have.
The trustees vowed to override her veto. One of them, Kiana Belcher, sitting at the meeting with her portrait because she says it was removed from the wall of Village Hall.
And this is just a process to drag it along, but everybody sees what's going on.
The village, under Henyard's leadership, is cracking down on access, pushing media at tonight's meeting to the very back of the room, almost out of sight of public comment from residents. But their voices were loud and clear.
You lied to us as residents. You do not stand for me. And I want you to step down as mayor today and save our village from this deficit that you have caused.
The mayor can blame everybody for what's going on, but she has to look at herself. Nobody told her to get on TV and lie like that.
Everybody cares about the person that's making the mess.
Henyard placing the blame elsewhere.
But only judge when you got both sides of the story, not one side narrative, which is negative.
A few months later, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was tasked with investigating the alleged illegal practices of Tiffany Henyard. Unsurprisingly, Henyard tried various tactics to obstruct the investigation, including an initial attempt to shift blame onto the trustees for the village's debt.
As you heard me speak today in my board meeting,
Those charges are for you. You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that? You don't know if you were in Las Vegas? Of course I did. Fly first class to Las Vegas.
Wouldn't answer about what's
You asked me a question. I can't answer together at this time, at this moment. This is when you got history, right? Y'all all sitting around the candidacy. So guess what? I am the truth.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. Of course I'm gonna give away $1 million to help you pay your mortgage and your rent. Of course I am. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. We get screwed down in the meeting. For what? Loving on the people, showing them that they matter to us. We going through the fighters for y'all. It's Black History Month. As the first African American female mayor of Johnson. Of course I'm misunderstood. Y'all should be ashamed of y'all because y'all black. Y'all black. Y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power.
Tiffany Henyard made a clumsy and almost embarrassing attempt to block the FBI investigation into her actions by vetoing the Board of Trustees' resolution. However, her efforts were swiftly overturned as the board overrode her veto with a decisive majority vote.
Since 2021, the general fund for day-to-day operations in the red with $3.65 million. Police department expenditures up 21%, with 2 officers paid more in overtime pay than regular pay. As of June 18th, 589 checks totaling more than $6 million approved but not sent to vendors. 6 different credit cards with receipts rarely provided, and purchases under investigation, including $40,000 in charges to Amazon.
You may hear no more things in coming minutes. But what I can assure you is the information that you share, that we're putting our name into on the record of financial obstruct.
I knew we were broke. And the way she broke it down and just let the other residents hear what was really going on, because Tiffany Henyard always talk about fake news.
Tiffany Henyard has consistently portrayed herself as innocent, often dismissing criticism as prejudice against her being black or female. However, she has avoided addressing questions about her infamous Las Vegas trip, where she allegedly spent thousands of government dollars on flights, hotels, and meals.
The village's credit card spending is out of control. Mayor Tiffany Henyard didn't respond to any of my requests today, and I'm told she's not in the building. No response to repeated interview requests. I tried to track down Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard in person today. Village employees told me she wasn't in the office and didn't say when she would be, a day after this. A packed community meeting Thursday night.
Tiffany Henyard seemingly vanished after the revelations, avoiding contact with news organizations. This followed the discovery that she had drained the general fund, plunging the village into millions of dollars in debt. Additionally, suspicions of other alleged embezzlements have further deepened the controversy surrounding her actions.
At Amazon, what a slap in the face to everybody that resides in 60419 zip code. I know how I felt when I started seeing these numbers. So I can imagine how all of you are feeling after all this time being in the dark. There are a number of other things we know, but we aren't ready yet. We got to verify in 20 ways from Sunday. Here is proof for everyone to see, and even the ones who doubt us. If you don't see through this, it's not going to say to you. February of 2025, clean house.
The trustees emphasized the facts to highlight that Tiffany Henyard was far from a leader serving the people, instead using public funds to finance her lavish lifestyle. This stark contrast between her actions and her role as a public official painted a damning picture of her leadership.
I want you to prove it, because, like I said, fact versus fiction. So you got us into this mess, and now we're trying to salvage what we can to get out.
Sitting at the mayor's side in a place usually reserved for the village attorneys, 2 unfamiliar faces. This is Chicago Federal Criminal Defense Attorney Bo Brindley, along with his law partner Ed McDavid. The website for Brindley's law firm says, "Results matter, aggressive criminal defense." The 2 criminal lawyers sat next to Henyard the entire meeting and even went into the board's closed executive session. Henyard is at the center of an ongoing FBI corruption investigation.
I didn't know them. A lot of my board members, they didn't know.
$40,000 at Amazon. What a slap in the face to everyone in the 60419 zip code. I know how I felt when I saw those numbers, so I can only imagine how you all feel, especially after being kept in the dark for so long. We know more, but we're not ready to reveal it yet. We're verifying everything thoroughly. Here's proof for everyone, even those who may still doubt us. If you don't see it now, there's nothing more I can say. Come February 2025, we'll clean house. Tiffany Henyard has been taking steps to protect herself from further inquiries, including having her criminal defense lawyers attend board meetings. She's also found new allies in the legal field, especially after firing her former top aide, Keith Freeman.
Coordination last week by the Dalton Village Board is back, appointed by Tiffany Henyard as police chief. Trustees say it's an illegal appointment. Lacey was arraigned on federal bankruptcy fraud charges Thursday afternoon. It's alleged that he lied under oath in a scheme to hide assets and income from creditors.
Well, Mr. Lacey is absolutely not guilty of all 9 counts. I think the government likes to bring as many counts as possible, just so the media will say that he's...
The irony isn't lost, as Tiffany Henyard has predictably claimed that she's the one doing all the work, accusing the trustees of wasting money investigating her. In addition to being a former alderman and village trustee herself, she has elevated L. Lacey to a new, even more significant role.
Unanimous support on the Thornton Township Board, but now trustee Carmen Carlisle says after trusting Henyard and remaining silent, she will be a whistleblower against Henyard. Carlisle released a statement to WGN that reads in part, "For the past 2 years, Henyard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents using her position to increase her influence, all while projecting a false image of success funded by the hardworking taxpayers of Thornton Township and the village of Dalton. Henyard shows no accountability or conscience for her actions against employees or..."
Mayor Tiffany Henyard appointed a new top aide to a $100,000 a year job without board consent. 34-year-old Michael A. Smith, who's been active in South suburban politics for years.
The reason for Mike is have a wealth of great information. He's a young person and ex-politician. He knows the laws like the back of his hand.
Perhaps that's because Smith has been in and out of trouble with the law for years. Public reporting shows Smith has been charged at least 8 times with crimes ranging from domestic battery to official misconduct. In 2012, Smith, then a young trustee in Dixmoor, resigned after pleading guilty to theft when he allegedly stole gasoline by posing as a police officer. Then in 2018, Smith was working as an assistant dean at Thornton Fractional High School when he was fired for...
When it was revealed at the first meeting that Tiffany Henyard had failed to file financial reports for the previous 2 years, people began taking action against her. One such move involved freezing $135,000 normally allocated for outstanding fees and traffic penalties. Meanwhile, Henyard's actions began to alienate some of her followers, evidenced by the appearance of a whistleblower from the Thornton Board of Trustees. Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor of Dalton has been nothing short of controversial. The most recent scandal to come to light revolves around her appointment of a new village administrator, Michael A. Smith, to a high-paying position with an annual salary of $100,000, an appointment that was made without the approval of the Board of Trustees. This decision has left residents and local officials stunned, as it raises serious concerns about Henyard's judgment and the potential impact on the already financially strained village. Michael A. Smith, a 34-year-old South suburban political figure, has been active in local politics for years. According to Henyard, Smith was appointed because of his wealth of knowledge and experience, particularly in the realm of local laws. However, Smith's controversial past has raised many eyebrows. His criminal record, which includes at least 8 charges ranging from domestic battery to official misconduct, paints a troubling picture of his character. Smith's most notorious charge occurred in 2012 when, as a young trustee in Dixmoor, he resigned after pleading guilty to theft for allegedly posing as a police officer to steal gasoline. This incident not only tarnished his reputation but also raised serious questions about his ethics and decision-making. However, his criminal history doesn't end there. In 2018, Smith was working as an assistant dean at Thornton Fractional High School when he was fired due to allegations of sexual harassment against a female staff member. These incidents have left many wondering whether Henyard's decision to appoint Smith was made with full awareness of his past or whether it was a sign of her disregard for the community's values. The appointment of Smith to the position of village administrator, in light of his troubling past, has sparked outrage among residents and local officials alike. It's not just the questionable hiring choice that has raised concerns, but the lack of transparency and communication surrounding the decision. Henyard bypassed the normal channels of approval, leaving the Board of Trustees out of the loop and further alienating her from the very people she is supposed to represent. This move adds to the growing list of actions that have made her leadership increasingly unpopular among the residents of Dalton. For months, residents have been calling for Henyard to resign, citing a variety of concerns including her questionable financial decisions and the mounting village debt. Despite the pressure, Henyard has shown little sign of stepping down, and her most recent appointment only adds fuel to the fire. The village is already facing millions of dollars in debt, and her decision to appoint someone with such a controversial past only deepens the sense of distrust that many residents feel toward her leadership. Henyard's failure to address the village's financial issues has left many wondering where her priorities truly lie. As the village struggles to balance its budget and address its mounting debt, Henyard seems more focused on securing her allies and consolidating power. Her recent actions, including the controversial appointment of Smith, show a complete disregard for the fiscal health of the village and the well-being of its residents. Even more troubling is Henyard's apparent distraction from the reality of Dalton's financial situation. With millions of dollars in debt, the village is in dire need of strong leadership, yet Henyard appears to be more concerned with maintaining her political power than addressing the village's pressing financial needs. This lack of attention to the village's financial crisis has led to a growing sense of frustration among residents who feel their concerns are being ignored. The appointment of Michael A. Smith to a high-paying government job, especially in the face of his criminal history, has only exacerbated the ongoing tensions between Henyard and the people she is supposed to serve. Residents are increasingly questioning her judgment, and many are calling for a change in leadership before the village sinks any further into debt. As the fallout from Henyard's actions continues to unfold, it remains to be seen whether her appointment of Smith will be the final straw that forces her to confront the consequences of her leadership, or if she will continue to evade responsibility for the crisis she has helped create. With an FBI investigation into her behavior already underway and mounting pressure from both residents and local officials, Henyard's days in office may be numbered. As we await further developments in this saga, it is clear that the issues facing Dalton and Henyard's leadership are far from resolved. The question remains, will Henyard be held accountable for her actions, or will the residents of Dalton be forced to endure even more turmoil under her administration? Leave a comment below with your opinions on the matter, and don't forget to click the bell symbol for future updates on this unfolding story. Thank you for watching Visual Vortex, and we'll see you next time with more updates.